Pikmin sucks. You should buy our Lunchly health box instead. It was almost approved by the FDA. I like my microplastics drippy, bruh. Don't listen to these manic fools trying to plant anti-Dandori messaging into your kids' brains. Instead, let your kids eat the slightly less unhealthy Pikmin Lunchables. This meal, which is filled with top-of-the-line nutritious ingredients, will make your children as strong as purple Pikmin. From Pikmin Tree. Don't give your child water, that makes Pikmin drown. Instead, let them consume a drink that has as much sugar as your average soda. Remember kids, if it has the marketable dogs and ants on the packaging, it's purely healthy. It seems like YouTube is embedding advertisements into videos now, but luckily there was a Pikmin ad which relates to the topic of this video, Pikmin merchandise and products. As we all know, you aren't actually a fan of something unless you buy an excessive amount of products relating to that franchise. So thankfully there is a plethora of Pikmin merchandise. Now believe it or not, I don't actually own any Pikmin merchandise, so yeah, I'm actually not a real fan. Some of these products range from standard to cool to pretty strange. I'll be discussing several pieces of Pikmin merchandise, but before we begin, make sure to subscribe for high quality Pikmin videos weekly. And be sure to buy my newly released t-shirts and book, IP Grabber in the description for those interested. Now I already brought up those two scrumptious meals from earlier, but one of the most notorious pieces of Pikmin food are the Pikmin gummies. Now on the surface, these seem like harmless Pikmin gummies. They're small sachets containing various Pikmin shaped gummies, and each Pikmin type has a different flavor. Red Pikmin are apples, blue Pikmin are blueberries, oh wait no, they are grapes. And finally, yellow Pikmin are oranges. Fucking nice one. These gummies seem simple enough, but digging deeper leads us to find out that these gummies were recalled for health concerns. Twice. When they first came out, the white Pikmin were found out to have salmonella poisoning risks. And then the new Pikmin 4 packets had ice Pikmin with 20 to 30 times more than the safe volume of chlorine. You've probably heard of these being recalled at least once. It was a pretty popular story. Popular YouTubers such as Peanut Butter Gamer talked about it, and he's trustworthy. I trust him. Digging even deeper leads us into the darkest secret of all, and that is that these are actually harmless Pikmin gummies. Yeah, I've heard the recalls of these get passed around as pure fact, but unfortunately the ice Pikmin gummies do not contain 30 times more chlorine than they should have. What the fuck do you mean Peanut Butter Gamer lied to me? Hope you're happy with yourself, this loyal fan just became lost media. It's pretty easy to find out that this is a hoax by just having a brief glance at the image. The date of the article was in the future when this image came out, and it was apparently written by Louise Hakates. These were likely just made as jokes for the Pikmin community, but somehow leaked into the wider web and got mistaken as actual articles. And it's a pretty good showcase of the internet's tendencies to share obviously fake news, which fake information, while harmless here, can lead to actual harm. Like when someone tried to assassinate The Rock last week based off of fake allegations. There's also a third hoax relating to purple Pikmin, and I don't think this one stuck. Yet again, it's written by high-class journalist Louise Hakates, and it claims that the purple Pikmin were recalled due to a contaminated batch of purple dye. Anyways, you can breathe easy knowing your Pikmin gummies are nice and safe. Quick, who is the most obscure Pikmin character? If you said Prototype Olimar, you would be correct. What kind of Five Nights at Freddy's shit is this? Jakks Pacific is a toy company and they manufactured Pikmin action figures, which seem to be of a good quality, and they produced Olimar, the Tree Primary Pikmin, and Purple Pikmin. Now, I would have just glanced over these, but for some reason, a year after they released all of the other figures, they made Prototype Olimar. And he's the exact same as the previous Olimar figure, but he's just grey now. I know the name and design make him look like a manufacturing error, but no, he was fully official. He was exclusive to Targus and was a part of the Prototype series, which was just a bunch of re-released Nintendo figures but painted grey. What even is the point of this? What kid's gonna open up an Olimar figure for their birthday and say, "Fuck you mom, I wanted it in grey"? What probably happened here was that the factory manager saw the total price of paint, laid off 500 employees via a Zoom call, and then decided to just make dystopian grey Nintendo figures to cut costs. Jakks Pacific also re-released all of these Pikmin figures, excluding Prototype Olimar, in one box for Pikmin Tree Deluxe. But they didn't make any figures for the Pikmin tree types, which is strange. These aren't the only Pikmin figurines that exist, and there have been several others that have been released. There are the recent wind-up figures that are of a pretty high quality, and also the terrarium sets that are these little glass balls that showcase a Pikmin scene inside of them. If I were to buy anything in this video, it would probably be one of these. There are these suction cup figures made in 2002 for Pikmin 1, and these contain Puffmin, which is pretty nice. Then there's the Pikmin 2 figurines, which are also pretty cool, and they also have some figurines for the Dwarf Bulborbs, the Ship, Bulbman, and a Bread Bug. These are also pretty well known for being expensive. Pikmin figurines obviously aren't the most exciting things, they are exactly what you think Pikmin figures would be, but they are pretty cool. 3 terabytes? How exactly can my Windows XP device with a 1GB hard drive store all of that? I'm being framed. Oh, sorry guys, I'm just having a bit of trouble with the police here, but before they arrest me without trial, I might as well show you this official Pikmin Windows XP theme. Nintendo of Europe made a bunch of Windows XP themes for GameCube games in 2002 that you got if you mailed proof of purchasing one of those games to them, and one of these desktop themes was of course Pikmin. This theme automatically sets your wallpaper to this photo of Olimar plucking a blue Pikmin along with giving you a green taskbar and window borders. There's also Pikmin images scattered in the start menu with a few app icons being changed as well, such as the internet having a picture of Olimar on it and the control panel being a GameCube controller. There are 3 custom noises as well, but they are pretty odd choices. Maximizing a tab makes a grass pluck sound. Minimizing a tab makes a compressed Peloponnese drop noise play. And closing a tab plays a file select beep. Every other sound effect remains unchanged, and the 3 ones used here are kinda strange. I don't really think of grass getting plucked when I maximize a window. Finally, your cursor is replaced with a Pikmin leaf, and there is also a little sun clock next to it whenever the computer is loading something. It's an alright theme, though it is a little glitchy as whenever you reset the computer, the taskbar gets reverted to normal. Pikmin 2 did not get a Windows XP theme, but it did get a neat Windows application called the Pikmin 2 Click and Stick Macromedia Program. What kind of Dr. Robotnik name is that? This program can make sticky notes and set alarms. Let's try it out. Okay, I don't know what the click and stick did to my computer that made it start speaking in German, but I don't think it's working as intended. Windows XP can absolutely freak out while installing this, but after a few attempts I was able to get it working. Well, the first function is the sticky notes, which work as you would expect, and there's also this constant video playing on the top of the nose. Because this was a free application made to advertise Pikmin 2, about 30% of the space on this program will redirect you to Nintendo links. One of those being this constant scrolling text begging you to find out more about Pikmin 2. There's also the alarm feature. Yeah, it's pretty funny. The final feature, the click and yick, is that you can make several sticky notes by clicking a button. I wanted to absolutely blow my eardrums out with several Pikmin alarms, but unfortunately the devs thought of that in advance and the alarms cancel each other out. Yeah, it's pretty neat. This was back when you manually installed bloatware onto your Windows devices instead of it coming pre-bundled with it. As I'm writing this, there's a thing on my toolbar telling me about an NBA match. I don't care. Torho. We serve Pikmin here. Excuse me? Did you just ask me what time it is? I think it's about time you got a clock and a can. What the fuck? If you pre-ordered Pikmin 3 from EB Games, you would get a Pikmin-themed clock and a can. Remove the L from it and it describes my last hospital visit. Why is the Pikmin 3 pre-order bonus a clock and a can? I don't know, apparently these are products and there are several of them, but they are completely impractical and stupid. If somebody wants to get a smaller clock, they get a watch, not a clock and a can. Only a complete neek would ever buy one of these. It's just a shitty dinky waste of materials that appeals to absolutely nobody and only exists to bring anger and confusion to our vulnerable world. If I was handed this while collecting my Pikmin 3 pre-order, I'd bash it over the employee's skull and then snap it in half with my bare hands. Why not put something else in the can? Maybe just have canned Pikmin food like sweets, jam, peanut butter. Actually no, not peanut butter, he lied about Pikmin gummies, scum of the earth. And speaking of consumable objects, to advertise the release of Pikmin 4, Nintendo partnered with Kung Fu Tea and released Pikmin Bubble Tea called the Pikmin Tropical Punch and Slush. I've never drank bubble tea in my life, all I know is that it's cold and has inedible balls at the bottom of it. There was only one flavour for Pikmin, but there were 3 different cups featuring the primary types, and also 3 straw caps with a leaf, bud, and flower that you could choose from at the Tearia. Don't really like when people make hot drinks cold. I've tried iced coffee a few times and it always tastes like cement, and I can't imagine bubble tea would be much different. Last year, Pikmin also collaborated with Kura Sushi, which is one of those sushi places with the conveyor belts. Red Pikmin get a prawn roll, which is covered in a bunch of red stuff, probably what a red Pikmin looks like after getting grinded against a cheese grater. Yellow Pikmin gets a tamago slice, and for any people who aren't sushi connoisseurs in the audience, that's a type of Japanese omelette. Finally, blue Pikmin, who have gills and are the closest to fish, get blueberry pie. Way to squander it, guys. At least it's the same color this time. You could also pick up keychains, magnetic bookmarks, a phone holder, and a t-shirt. Speaking of clothing, there hasn't been too much of it for Pikmin. Most well-known one is this t-shirt that was shown off for Pikmin 4's reveal, mostly notable because he talked about it longer than the actual game that was getting revealed. It's pretty basic but looks nice, and there is also a hoodie made of it. There's these Pikmin hoodies which resemble the Pikmin, which are exclusive to Japan. I saw these on TikTok and I thought that they looked pretty cute. The comment section said they look like Klansman outfits. There's this Bulborb sleeping bag thingy with a really funny photo, and there's also this t-shirt that was made for Hot Topic in 2017.
Nice of Hot Topic to make these cool Pikmin shirts, eh, Luigi?
Finally, we have probably the most notable pieces of merchandise, and that is the Pikmin Plushies. I said I didn't own any Pikmin merch, but I lied. I had 3 of these as a kid. First one was this red Pikmin. I think he was for Pikmin Tree, and I remember he was just in GameStop for like 2 years straight, and I felt bad for him, so I purchased him. He was starting to develop a cataract in his eye, and it was just sad for kid me to watch. I also got a yellow Pikmin and a Bulborb plush who may have been bootlegs, but there were 2 officials that were basically the same. The Pikmin plushies are obviously pretty standard, but I do remember the Bulborb actually had a mouth compartment that you could use to put the Pikmin in it. If I had this now, I know exactly what I'd put in its mouth, and that would be Pikmin gummies because I don't tell fibs about them on the internet. I also had 2 really obvious bootleg red and yellow Pikmin plushies, which I was somehow able to find a picture of the red one online. I recall that they had hardened glue on their leaves, so they basically had a fucking critical hit point for throwing them at your friends. Anyways, I've mostly ran out of notable Pikmin merch to discuss. There are still several pieces of merchandise, but I can't discuss them all in one video unless they'll just boil down into 2 hours of looking at PNGs and going, huh, a Pikmin vase? What are you gonna do with that? Grow marijuana in it? Huh. Something was in those Pikmin gummies and it wasn't chlorine! If you remember any notable pieces of Pikmin merchandise that I neglected to mention in this video, be sure to comment about it and why I'm a miserable failure for forgetting to include it. And also let me know what you think of the merchandise featured in this video. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe or else I'll make you buy the Pikmin tree clock in a can.